And of course, after the break, I'm so excited, Suzanne Vega's here. We're going to talk to her about her mother, the programmer, her addiction to computer games. She's going to sing for us. Stay tuned when the Screensavers continue. Welcome back to the Screensavers. Our next guest is a musician on the outside and a musician and a geek girl on the inside, Suzanne Vega. So great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
And your boyfriend Glenn, who's joining us via, this is the
eyesight.
Completely unplanned.
Yes.
But you mentioned that you had been trying to talk to him on the eyesight.
Yeah, this morning, yeah.
And from the hotel, couldn't do it.
Right, exactly. It was my birthday present. Was the eyesight, so.
This thing. So we set it up, and now we can see him, and he's actually joining us in the interview, which we didn't really plan on. Say hi, Glenn.
He's usually my sound engineer as well.
Hi, greetings from a very hot, sticky New York.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I think we might do this more often. This is kind of a neat thing.
It's great.
Now, you said your mother is a computer programmer?
Yes.
So you kind of grew up with this?
Yes, kind of. Actually, you know, I have a letter from her explaining to me exactly what she does because I am sometimes puzzled and I always get it wrong. So I said, Ma, what do you do exactly? And she says here, hi, how are you? And then she goes, regarding my employment, I'm a computer specialist at the New York City Transit Authority, Employee Information Systems.
Wow.
She's a business systems analyst, and she does all kinds of stuff.
Really
She's
neat.
been working with computers
your whole
since
life?
the 70s.
Since you were a kid, she was doing this?
Yeah, I remember walking into the kitchen one day when I was about 16, and there was a huge computer. It came up to my waist, and she had the phone hooked up to the computer, and she was accessing the library at Hunter College.
Wow.
And she said, isn't that great? And I said, where's dinner?
Mom, you're creeping me out here. Okay.
So yeah, she's been working with computers this whole time, and that's still what she does.
Did you have an interest in it, or was music more your passion?
Oh, music and reading and writing. Yeah. I love my computer now, but now it's, you know, it's this size and it's handy and I use it all day long. But
it's a tool for you more.
It's a tool.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about downloading. Every time I get a musician and an artist on, hi Glenn. We don't want to leave him out. Every time we get a musician on, I always ask, because I think really the artists, only people should have a fair opinion on this, about file sharing, about Napster, about music sharing. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, strangely enough, I have mixed feelings. As a major label artist, I'm against it. You know, I feel that people should pay for the downloads. They should pay for the music. You shouldn't just download the music. When I put a package together, I like to, I work on the art, I work on the liner notes, and so I really think of it as a whole thing.
Also, even the order of the songs on the album is important for you, yeah?
Yeah, and so that's what I like. Right. But I also know that it's, my niece, for example, downloads music all the time.
Now that's interesting. So when Aunt Suzanne comes over and you see the niece
she proudly shows me the CDs that she's burned.
Really? What do you say to her?
I say, Sachi, well, what are you doing? You know, you're putting artists out of work doing that. She goes, well, why should I pay for it if I don't have to? And so, I mean, we're kind of stuck at that juncture at the moment. But
and so, because that's interesting. I mean, you're her aunt. I mean, she sees a direct personal correlation, and doesn't sway her.
No, she feels like, you know, she doesn't want to buy the whole album. I mean, of course, my albums are different. I can give them to her, but, you know, when she goes online, she doesn't, she wants a particular song.
One song.
Yeah.
Do you think online music sales, things like iTunes, and I know your albums sell very well on iTunes.
Yeah, they did great.
Are going to be a way for somebody like Sachi to be kind of compromise?
I think so. I mean, what I'm hoping is, you know, she'll get older and she'll get a job and she'll make some money, and then she'll realize that, you know, you have to give and take. And
you know what I do with my daughter? I give her an allowance of iTunes music.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I say you can buy 5 songs a week. Or an album every 2 weeks, and that seems to be, because you're right, kids don't have any money, so it's natural for them to say, well, I'm just going to download it. Why not? It's available.
Right. It's fun. It's cool. It's kind of underground. It makes it feel like it's your own music.
Now you kind of have another take on it too, because technology has changed music in another way that was not so good for you, which is sampling. And
right. Actually, it was great for me.
It ended up being good, but I imagine initially it wasn't so good. Tell me what happened.
Well, what happened with the song Tom's Diner,
Diner,
is that, of course, it was an a cappella song.
Right.
I recorded it that way on the album Solitude Standing. 3 years later, my manager called me up, outraged, saying, these two boys in England have stolen your song. They're called DNA, and they've remixed it, and they've added this bass and drums, and we're going to sue them because they've infringed the copyright.
And it wasn't just a case of them using a little bit of it.
No, they took the whole song
whole
from beginning
song.
to end, yes, and remixed it, and they started to, their story is they had tried to ask for permission, and the record company never returned their phone call, which is possible.
Yeah.
So they had it, they started to sell it themselves, and it started to do really well.
It was a hit.
Yes, well, it wasn't a hit until
You made the deal.
until we made the deal with them,
Yeah.
exactly. So in the end, it did well all over the world.
So you had another hit.
Yes, I had
So it was
another
good.
hit, and it was great, and
Yeah.
I still keep in touch with them and, email them. We've done other work together.
You don't resent them then doing what they did?
No, I liked what they had done with it. I felt that they had kept the integrity of the song.
Yeah, they did.
They had added a chorus, and they'd added this
Right.
beat that made it accessible to millions of people that wouldn't have heard it otherwise.
Now,
So
here's an interesting
I was very
thing.
happy with the whole thing.
On Retrospective, which is your new CD, it's a best of,
Yeah.
you use their version.
Of course, that was the hit. My version
I
was
like
not
your
the
a
hit.
cappella version, though.
Well, you can still listen to it.
You go,
can go
just by
download it
Solitude
now.
Standing. I can download it.
Yes.
Now, another interesting thing about Tom's Diner that I did not know, Tom's Diner was used as a reference song for the MP3 file format. How did
Yes,
that come about?
Karl-Heinz Brandenburg. This is the story. I only found out about this again after the fact. I was taking my daughter to school, and one of the parents of Ruby's friends said, "Oh, congratulations on the MP3." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "Oh, I've read this article in Technician magazine saying that you are essentially the mother of the MP3, and Karl-Heinz Brandenburg used your voice to create and refine the MP3." And I said, "Are you sure?" And then I read the interview, and since then I've met him, and we've spent a bit of time together, and that's what he
That's really neat.
has said.
He
yes.
heard your song and he said, "This voice, if I can get the MP3 format to reproduce this voice accurately, I'll have done the right thing." Is
Right,
that
that's
basically
what
what
he
happened?
used it to refine.
That's
to
really
refine
neat.
it. He said he heard it down the hall, and he tried running it through the initial format. He wasn't satisfied with it, so over a
tweaked
period
it.
of months, he used it to refine it.
See, now you should tell Sachi, well, by the way, my songs always sound better on MP3. Oh, that's true though, right? MP3 is designed for Suzanne Vega.
For my voice.
For your
We'd like
voice.
to think so. Maybe, yeah, whatever.
She's going to sing for us a little bit after the break, and then I'm going to give you this, and you and Glenn can go off and have a moment together, because I know you haven't had a chance to talk privately, because
Yes.
we've all been going, whoa, look, we can see him. It's cool. Glenn has now made friends with the entire, isn't that so cool?
He's normally my sound engineer, and he's home because he's recovering. So it's really nice that he can be part of the show.
Yeah,
and
we
he's a
hope
big
you feel
fan.
better, Glenn, and yeah, he watches the show.
Watches the
Now,
show all the time.
So you're stuck watching it. You're one of those
Yes, in the
computer
mornings, that's
screensavers
what
widows.
I have to watch.
Yeah,
Yes, we watch the reruns in the morning.
I like that.
Every morning.
Every morning, Glenn says. And I also know that you have a very active online forum. In fact, you've been doing it for almost 10 years now, which is kind of neat.
Yes, I've joined my own web group.
This
which
is
is interesting. I get
Undertow, it's
immediate interaction with my website.
And you like doing that?
Most of the time, yes, I do, except when they complain about my haircut or something. I get fans writing and going, "Wow, you look terrible on whatever," and that I could live without. But the rest of it is great.
Really neat,
Yeah, it's terrific.
You should see what they write about us. Don't go to our forums. We're going to come back with more Suzanne Vega.